Hello, welcome back to the office of Puzzle Solver in Wonder? Yeah, Solver in Wonder. Today we are solving the Hanayama Iqua puzzle, which has got two things going for it. It's probably got the coolest name, the Iqua puzzle, that just sounds cool. And it's also probably the best looking puzzle we've solved. I've not seen it yet, but it looks very, very cool. And as well as looking cool and sounding cool, this is also going to be a tough one. The black box actually means a level 5 out of 6 puzzle, so it doesn't get much tougher than this one. So we could be here a while. Hopefully we can get it open in the first place. We have solved all of the puzzles we've tried so far. We are 10 for 10. This is puzzle 11. Let's keep the streak going. Okay, so here it is, the Iqua puzzle. And after getting out of the box, I think I was right. This is a cool, probably the coolest looking puzzle. It's got a very shiny metallic finish to it. This bit in the middle, I'm guessing, spins around in every possible direction. So our aim for today is to break this up into these 3 pieces. So you got this big shell on the outside, and then 2 bits in the middle. You see they are connected here. And our job is to get those 2 bits out of this bit. Now, this is going to be interesting, I think. The movement wise that we've got essentially can spin around in every direction. There's little spiky bits on the end here that is limiting it slightly. Maybe that's the first step to getting this open. Like I said, this is a level 5 puzzle, and the level 5s and 6s that we've done so far seem to have steps to getting them open. It's not just like get it in one position and it all comes apart. So, looking at this and seeing that these bits are struggling to get past here, that might be step 1. In terms of the bits that inside, they seem to be identical. I'm not exactly sure how they're oh! Timed that well. I've no idea what just happened. But that just fell through to that. What I was going to say is I'm not sure how these bits actually come out of the circle, other than using the gap that was there. So that bit wasn't there. What just happened? Did we just line that bit up and it just knocked out? So what I was going to say was, I don't know how they come out other than that gap going through one of those and then somehow, I don't know, turning around there. But literally as I was about to say it, we managed to separate these 2 bits, which was potluck. That wasn't the aim of what I was about to say. So we got to this position. Now what? Oh, I guess now we can get the knobbly bits, the sticky out bits, into different zones. But like I said, each zone seems exactly the same. I'm going to call these bits zones, these 4 bits here. Like I said, I'm not sure, because there's no difference between each of these things, I'm not sure why those zones as such would matter. I'm not sure why those changing the position of where the spiky bits are, in terms of which zone it's in. I'm not sure how that benefits us. I think I know how this opens now. I think we just need to get this gap lined up with this gap and job done. However, it's a lot more awkward getting those 2 bits lined up than I thought it might have been. So we're going to have to play around with putting this bit in here, trying to move the other bits around until we can get them lined up. I'm sure there's a direct, smooth way of doing it. I just don't know what that way is yet. I feel like we're a little bit stuck now. Can't seem to make anything move that much. But we're very, very close to getting those 2 things lined up. And now we've got them lined up, and now how do they come apart? See, would that even fit over the top? I'm not sure that it would. Plus, it actually can't drop down because these 2 bits aren't in the right position. This one can't drop down into this one because that is a full thing there, it's a full ring. The gap isn't sort of here but horizontal. I'm not really showing that well, but I know what I mean. I think the thickness of this might be a bit too much. Yeah, it is to skim over the top. Ooh, but on the other side, in here, you see how it is smaller there than it is there? That gap in here, this gap here, does that fit over there? This stabby bit here is currently stopping me from getting to where I need it to be, for those two to slip over each other. I feel like we're really close with this one. I'm confusing myself here. I think we were about to just put it back together. I need to figure out at which point these two separate from each other and through where. What gap is big enough for this or this to pass through it. Right now I'm not sure where that is. I managed to get it back together, which will hopefully help us understand how we got to that position. I think that's just simply lining it up with there, with that gap there, and at the same time that gap there. And that's how we get to here. How do they come apart? So we can move these slowly but surely, I think, into pretty much any position we want. And the two bits are slightly different. I'm not sure exactly in every way that they are different yet, but for instance, you see that there's a bit of a ledge on that one there, on that gap where you've got the slimmer thickness. And on here, there's no ledge, so it would be there if it was in the same place. Other differences, can we see this here? So you see how the block bit of in here is much thicker than it is on this one here. You can see that there's a, can you see that? You can see that there's a diagonal bit in there.
So unfortunately at this part of the video we lose the audio. There's a very loud, annoying buzzing sound in the background the whole time. I know why it is, it won't happen again. I'm very mad at myself for this happening. So, but rather than subjecting you to that buzzing noise in the background for the rest of the 45 minutes that it takes me to open it, we'll skip through it all. I'll show you the last move, which is what you're about to see, and then I am going to leave in the last bit where it comes open and I talk through it a little bit. It's going to skip through a lot, so we're going to get it open, we're going to talk you through it slightly, and then we're going to skip to putting it back together, and then we'll conclude the video as we usually do. Apologies for those of you who wanted to watch me go through the steps of solving it. We're not going to get that this week, I'm afraid. I promise it will not happen again. So, without further ado, here's a very high-pitched and happy Ross.
Oh my god, I've only just... What? Okay, what I was hoping for didn't actually happen, but look at that. I'm pretty sure I can get it out almost immediately right now, but we've got this one out. Yes! Do you know what? I couldn't get it back on. I knew what I was trying to do. I was trying to sort of... We got to a position there where we got both things, like, through. And I was trying to get into a position where I could turn them, and then I could put them both back in, and then they'd orientate together the opposite way to what I thought, like I mentioned earlier, and then they'd come together, and then they'd come apart, is what I mean. But we've actually just got one bit completely out. How do we get it the whole way out? That's how. Oh yeah, of course. So we were just there. Now the reason I'm not rushing to try and take the whole thing apart is I always find one of the hardest parts, or I like to understand how they come apart so that it's easier to put it back together and to explain to you how it came apart. So obviously once we got that bit out, that bit comes out there nice and easy. So that's that bit done. Now so yeah, so they go back together like they would do. Obviously when they're in the cage, that would have been stopped by these two sides. Oh wait. Oh no. I think we were there. Comes to there. Yeah, so now we'll do the other way around and then pulling them through. Okay. Oh man, that one move, that sort of twisted move where we sort of went over the top of one of these was the key. How I'm gonna reverse that to get it back together may take some time, but we've solved it. We've got the Equa puzzle apart. Stop focusing on the future. Enjoy what we've just done. We did it! We solved the Equa puzzle, or the Equa puzzle, however you want to pronounce it. Unfortunately, about halfway through the video, the audio went a bit dodgy. You'll already know how I've fixed that. I'll probably commentate over the top of it rather than the live commentary of solving it. It's fine for like the first half, but then towards the end it goes all fuzzy, so yeah, you already know how I fixed that though, so that's the only shame about this one. Now since I solved it, I always have another couple of goes at getting it open just to make sure I've got it right in here before I try and explain it to you. And in those couple of times I've tried since, I've realised I got a little bit lucky when I solved it on camera. I actually got very, very lucky because the reason I solved this is because I got exactly the right corner that I solved it on. And not only did I get the right corner, so there's four, it's split into quarters, so there's four corners, if you like. I'm going to call these corners, I don't know if that is a corner. But not only did I pick the right one of the four corners, I actually picked the right one of the three within the four corners as well. So I picked the right axis, we'll say. I picked the right axis as well as picking the right corner. So I had a 1 in 4 chance of getting the right corner, times a 1 in 3 chance of getting the right axis, which is what, a 1 in 12 chance, which is, I know, extremely lucky. And because of that, I'm actually going to change where I rank this in terms of difficulty on my scale. I was going to rank it a little bit lower than I am gonna, but since realizing that I got lucky essentially, I'm going to rank it a little bit higher. But first, the reason why I got lucky is because one of these 12 axes is actually very, very slightly smaller or thinner than every single other one. And it's that thinness of that one axis that makes this puzzle openable. Possible is a better word to describe it. Now it's a very fiddly puzzle. The knobbly bit at the top, getting that in the right place or having to get that into certain places to start with, that makes it tough in itself. That makes it really hard actually. So that thinness of the one axis gives you, or allows you, the space to take one of the circle bits over the top of another bit. Now, I'm not explaining that very well. I will explain it much better in the solution video that we will do eventually for this. I've not quite mastered it yet, I've only solved it twice. But I'll have a good couple of goes over the next few weeks, and before we do the solution video for this, I will know this puzzle inside out before I show it to you properly. So yeah, a little bit of luck this week. I can't actually say that I've solved a puzzle because of luck previously, which is good. I'll take that. I'd much rather solve it properly than get lucky and solve it that way. But like I mentioned at the start, this is probably the best looking puzzle that we've got so far. And it really does have the best sounding name. I'm not sure if it's Equa, whatever it is. Either way, those two are the coolest name, and this is the coolest looking puzzle. And it solves itself, or it doesn't solve itself, you have to put a lot of effort into solving it. But it's a very enjoyable puzzle. It's a very, very tough puzzle. In terms of Hanayama's difficulty rating, they give it a 5. I would say it's a 6. This one's very, very tough. It took about 1 hour and 15 minutes to solve in total. It took about 17 minutes to get it back together. If I wouldn't have got lucky, I dread to think how long it would have actually taken. Probably days, if not weeks. This could have been one of the hardest ones that we've done. However, when it comes to my ranking scale, where are we going to place it? Now, I'm not going to place it as the hardest. I think it could have been the hardest if I wouldn't have got lucky. it could have gone above the vortex. But we realised how it was going to come apart fairly early on, or we thought of a way of how it was going to come apart, but it wasn't exactly that how it worked. I thought it would twist, the circly bits would twist inside the puzzle and then come apart. It actually turned out that you've got to get it over the edge of here and then the twist and then the middle bits come apart. But knowing that final step did help in getting it open. So you can already tell this is going to be one of the harder puzzles from how I'm describing this. But it's not going to be number one. This isn't the hardest one we've done. The vortex is still going to take that place, which is this one. Now last week we did or 2 weeks ago we did the cylinder puzzle, and that was then the second, that came in at a second place. But this is going to take over the cylinder's spot of the second most difficult puzzle that we've done. So it's not quite as hard as the vortex, but the Equa is going to sit in second place, which on Hanayama's scale makes sense. We've got a level 6 puzzle, level 5, 4, 5, 4, 6, which is, yeah, again, I'm starting to think the more level 4s I do, the more level 5s I do, that this nutcase level 6 is actually easier than your average level 6. Then we've got level 4, level 3, level 4, a level 6, very, very wrong in my opinion, and then a level 1, which is obviously spot on. So the good news is we've got a level 1 as the easiest one, and the level 6 out of 6 is the hardest one. So generally speaking, we're fairly on target in terms of where it should be. So that's it for this one. If you have been entertained in any way, shape or form right now, I'm assuming again based on the fact that you've got to this point in the video that you have been entertained. Please like the video, please watch some other videos of these ones in here, and click my face just down here to subscribe. There'll be more puzzles solved next time. We'll be doing solution videos as well, and peace!